Okay, folks, let's get right into part 3 of dog training talk. Where do I begin here? Okay, a few things that a lot of dog trainers disagree with here. I hear conversation about this all the time. Sleeping, laying on the furniture, sleeping in the bed, running out doorways first. All these things are something that a lot of trainers disagree with. Okay, I'll tell you what I do, all right? For one, working doorways and thresholds is a very, very powerful tool to me. Very, very powerful. It's something that I do with my dogs in the time when we're training, when they're young, and clients' dogs, it's day one we start, all right? So, for example, when I open a doorway, I don't give commands. I don't care if the dog sits, stands, lays down. It doesn't matter to me. I don't block the dog physically. I try not to use any corrections. I want to give that dog all the space in the world to blow by me, okay? We're not going anywhere until that dog is calm and is in tune with me. When the dog is calm, I go. But again, I'm not using commands. If the dog does try to go through the door, if I have to pull him back with the leash, I will. But I prefer giving a little bump with the leg or something that has some meaning to the dog, something the dog really understands well. Okay, and dogs understand body language very well. I use a lot of spatial pressure. All right, so if you see the dog about to break and you move towards them in a very quick, aggressive way, tell them, they get that. It's really important. So this is important to me. With clients' dogs, I do it the whole time they're here. Big deal. But the great thing is, after the first couple of times, the dogs do it. They understand it. All right? And you have to earn that respect to where the dog wants to be with you and respects that space. It's a very, very powerful tool. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of trainers out there, a lot of very good trainers, great trainers that I respect a great deal, that don't care about this stuff. All right, and they'll say, I don't care if my dog blows through the door in front of me, this and that. They allow their dogs to sleep on their bed, on the furniture. Again, I don't. Okay, when it comes to the furniture and sleep, I don't. My dogs have to be on the floor. For one, I don't want dog hair on everything in my house. All right, the other thing is, I want it to be very clear to the dog. We love you. You're my best friend. We are teammates. But make no mistake about it, I am the captain. All right, I don't want a dog feeling they're on equal terms with me. I just don't. And you guys see how my dogs are with me. The relationship is strong. It is very strong. And in my opinion, dogs need this. It's very beneficial. So I'll have conversation with trainers sometimes that say, my dogs sleep on the bed, they sleep on the furniture, they run out the door, and my dogs are fine. I understand what you're saying, okay? So let's put it this way. If I started allowing my dogs to sleep on my bed and my furniture, would I run into problems? No, probably not. But I'm pretty damn good with dogs. I'm a dog trainer, and I already have enough established there. Would I have problems? No. Do I make my dogs wait at the door now when we're going out? No, they don't. But during the training process, it's very important to me. Now I open the door and the dogs go, and I follow. That doesn't make a difference to me now, but my dogs are trained. Here's what I tell these trainers. And again, a lot of good trainers, I have this conversation. Guys I really respect. They're great trainers. But what I tell them is, every single bad dog that I work with, and I work with a lot of bad dogs, they all are allowed to do these things. They all sleep on the furniture. They all sleep in the bed. A lot of them free feed. They eat when they want. There's toys left over all over anytime they want. The dogs dictate when they get affection. They're pushy and they get their love and their pets and all these things. So what I tell these trainers is, yes, your dogs can sleep in your bed. They can lay on your furniture, but you're a dog trainer. You're a professional dog trainer. You're doing everything else right. You have well-trained dogs. The problem here, guys, is for the average everyday dog owner who has no dog training knowledge or ability, when they're allowing these things to go on in the home, they're almost always doing a lot of other things wrong too. Okay, a lot of things, and that's a problem. These folks are not professional dog trainers. So if an average dog owner opens the door and they can't control their dog at the doorway, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. And these little things make a big difference. If the average dog owner allows their dog to sleep in the bed and there's behavioral problems, you can't have it. You can't. You have to take that away. Now listen, if you have a well-behaved dog and you have no issues, none, no behavioral problems, do what you want. That's fine. My clients, I don't want your dogs doing this. I don't want your dogs doing that. I'm very honest with my clients. And I say, this is what I do. You make your decision. But here's why. If I have to encourage them one way or the other, I'll give them reasons. And my clients trust me. They trust me. I'm very honest with them. But again, if you have absolutely no behavioral problems, do what you want. But here's the thing, guys. A lot of people say they have no behavioral problems, but then I see the dogs, and the dogs, they don't do anything the people want. People have very low expectations from their pets, from their dogs. And that's a problem. So for me, there is no on the furniture. There is no on the bed. And listen, when we're gone all day, my dogs don't go on the furniture. They don't go on the bed. So they don't do this thing. They sneak up there because we're not home. It's not even a thing to them. Like, they don't attempt it because we never allow it. We just never, from day one. If the puppy goes to jump on the couch, tell them no. We knock them off there. You're not allowed up there. And they get it. It's the same way. My dogs have free reign of the house, except they've never been allowed in my kids' bedrooms because it's carpeted. Not because they're going to do something in there. I just want to keep the carpet clean, and I think it is good to set some boundaries. So my dogs aren't allowed in my kids' rooms or the carpeted bedrooms, which are upstairs in my house. And this has been a lifetime, every house we've ever been in. And here's the thing. I've never had to shut the door. I've never had to put up a baby gate. Never. The dogs just don't go in there. They'll go right to the doorway and they'll lay down with their paws right at the boundary. Why is that? They get it. Dogs understand boundaries very well. Very well. When you show them that invisible boundary, they understand. But that goes back to having that overall connection with your dog where the communication and the relationship is there. You won't believe the things that you can get across to your dog when you do this. So this is an area that a lot of people fail. So the whole thing about the couch, free feeding, horrible. We talked about that. These are just some of the habits. With all the bad dogs I see, the dogs are usually allowed on the furniture. They usually sleep in the bed. A lot of them eat when they want. A lot of them are very picky eaters. A lot of the people add all kinds of things to their food to try to get to make them eat. A lot of these dogs are very pushy. They'll push in for affection, and when they do that, the owners are loving on them. All these things are common problems with everyday dog trainer owners that have problem dogs. It's the same thing every dog that I see. All right. So when I work with someone, right now I'm working with several females that are pretty much on their own with some big powerful dogs. 2 dogs, giant powerful dogs. These are things that as soon as they change them, the dogs start falling in line. The dogs change instantly. That's a wonderful thing. So when I hear people say it's like people going to therapy, it takes time and you go through this bad period. Bullshit. The second we change, dogs change. They change instantly, especially simple things like this. They change instantly. So that's what I do. Those are some of the rules that I have. No, there is no on the bed. There is no on the furniture. People ask me, they talk about Luca. How do you live with that dog? Because he is a psycho, and you see how high-strung and high energy, how drive he is. He's about as high as you're going to find, right? He is a psychopath. In the house, he's a normal dog, guys. I don't put him on a place and make him stay there for hours. I don't do that. I don't force my dogs to be on a place. He has free reign in the house. Now, if it gets to a point where he can't sit still and he's all over the place and he's antsy, I'll tell him, hey, go lay down. But not in a command fashion like down, where he's got to do a nice down. Just, hey, go over there and lay down. And he understands that. He has his spot next to the couch where he goes and he chills out. That's what he does. At night, he sleeps next to my bed on the floor. He can sleep wherever he wants. That's where he chooses to. Every time if I wake up and I look over, he's awake. He doesn't sleep much, but he doesn't move. Luca is extremely affectionate with my wife. That's who he's crazy about me. I'm the fun guy, he's my partner, but he's very loving with my wife. Very loving, very gentle. And so in the middle of the night, if my wife rolls over, he jumps up and he goes and he checks on her. If she coughs, he jumps up and he goes and checks on her. He won't go to bed until he says goodnight to her every night. Every night. He has to get up and go give her some affection and say goodnight to her. You know, it's very, very sweet. Very, very affectionate. So that's what kind of dog he is. But listen, folks, he wouldn't be that dog inside the home if I wasn't so strict about the rules and boundaries and structure in the early years. He just wouldn't be. So when you see me, you know, like I said, I made my first video with Luca at 9 weeks old. At 9 weeks old, he doesn't have free access to go anywhere he wants in the house. Are you freaking kidding me? It would be a disaster. So in that period, I'm raising my dog, showing them what I want, what I don't want. I don't want to spend time correcting bad behavior, and I very rarely have to correct bad behavior. I just don't. I'm not anti-corrections. I'm not anti-punishment. But when you're showing your dog properly what you want, you find yourself very rarely using corrections. And big part of the problem we have today in the dog industry is there's more talk about corrections and punishment than anything else. That's what everyone's focused on. How to punish this, how to correct this, how to stop this. The problem is you never hear anyone talking about how to teach this, how to raise your dog to do this. And to me, that's a sign of someone with very low ability and skill. That's what it comes down to. You know, this tool will stop this. Tools don't fix dogs, people. You know, understanding dog behavior, understanding how the dog's mind works. That's what fixes problem dogs. And so a lot of these fixes that you see are very, very short term and not everlasting. And believe me when I tell you, I'm backed up for several months right now. And a lot of those dogs come from other pretty damn popular trainers. Okay, so when I ask, well, what was the problem? Why wasn't it fixed? And I hear, well, they told me just keep doing what I'm doing. My dog's just bratty. That's someone who paid a few $1,000s to have some bad behavior fixed, rehabilitated, whatever you want to call it, changed. And they're told, just keep doing what you're doing. Your dog is bratty. What the fuck, man? Come on, seriously? That's when you need to say, I need my money back. You didn't do nothing. You did nothing for me. And that's more common than people think. So you have to understand something. The people that you're trusting with your dogs, are you seeing good work? Or are you just hearing about good work? There's a lot of talk about good work, but you're not seeing a lot of beneficial things. All right, you're just not. And that's not directed at anyone in particular. I just think that people's expectations of dog training need to be higher. They need to be higher. Okay, they're very low. If you pay $3,000 to get a dog trained and your dog can go to a play sport and stay there, I'd ask for my money back. You know, I mean, what? We could do that in 10 minutes with no tools, no nothing. So that's an issue. That's an issue. Dogs are capable of so much. We just got to give them the opportunity. Okay? Peace. See you in a few.